here we go. On June 16th, 2023, I uploaded a video to YouTube that completely changed everything for me. My review of Season 1 of XO Kitty. Watching the show was an accident. I never planned on seeing it, but due to unforeseen circumstances, I happened to stumble upon the show on Netflix. At the time, I thought it would be interesting to watch. I really liked Kitty in the To All the Boys movies. I also saw that the show takes place in Korea, and I happen to be Korean, so I watched it, didn't like it, made a video on it, and uploaded it to YouTube. I had no clue how much of an impact that video would make. It's my favorite video I've ever made for this channel. Not because I think it's the best, but it made me realize what look, vibe, and format I want for my videos from now on. And because it has over 2 million views. What the heck? So yeah, I have a bit of a soft spot for this show, but that doesn't mean that I suddenly think the show is good. Season 1 is bad. It's the Korean Emily in Paris. It's cringy as hell, inaccurately portrays Korea, and is just a hot mess. But it's an addicting mess. So here I am again, almost 2 years later, reviewing Season 2. And oh my god. Disclaimer as usual, these are just my opinions. Feel free to comment yours, just remember to be respectful. So just a quick recap, we last left Kitty at the end of her first semester at the Korean Independent School of Seoul, which is also called KISS, because of course it is. She broke up with her long-term boyfriend Dae after 4 years because she got feelings for a girl named Yuri. After one sex dream. Yuri is the rich popular girl who politely demanded Dae to be her cover-up boyfriend because she's actually into girls. Then there was Dae's best friend, Minho, who started having strong feelings for Kitty after
one sex dream.
In fact, his feelings were so strong that he sat and coached for her to tell her that he was in love with her. The show ends with a lot of questions and concerns in the air. Kitty didn't learn Korean, failed all her classes, got kicked out of KISS, and also didn't learn anything about her Korean family, which was the main reason why she decided to go to the school in the first place. And now you're all caught up. So because this is a teen show, I'm not expecting some revolutionary Breaking Bad level of writing. Netflix knows what grabs the attention of its target audience. Messy characters, fights, drama, and crushes. But I've always strongly believed that just because a show or movie is targeted towards a younger audience doesn't mean that it's okay to be bad or lazy with its writing. As we all know, Season 1 was a mess with its characters, plot lines, and dialogue. Season 2, not that different. There are still way too many messy storylines happening. I also think that this season has way too many characters in this friend group to the point where it feels overstuffed. A lot of them just serve one purpose and that's it. When they're no longer beneficial to the plot, they just disappear for the rest of the episodes. The dialogue is still really cringy. I don't care how good of an actor you are, no one can make Chaos Queen sound normal in a sentence. But there were actually some things about Season 2 that I liked better. For one, I thought it was funnier. The show definitely learned which actors can be used for comedic relief and which ones can't. I also liked the parallels to the To All the Boys movies. Kitty falling down on the track, the ski trip, and the hot tub. I also liked that they were all with the main love interest, just like in the To All the Boys movies. I also feel like the writers listened to a lot of the criticism of the first season. The storyline with Kitty's family actually had a much bigger role in Season 2, and I personally really liked it. It not only provided opportunities for Kitty to connect with her friends, but the storyline itself, actually went somewhere. Oh my god, plot development in XO Kitty? Is this real? I think the show is also more aware of how ridiculous it is, and it kind of breaks the fourth wall. The characters actually have a few lines here and there that acknowledge how many plot twists and love connections there are. It's up to you if you like stuff like that. Personally, I do. I think it's actually pretty funny.
Maybe Yuri wrote it to me. Guys, I can't keep up, but that does make a lot of sense.
Or when Day was explaining the events of season 1 to some girl that he was flirting with, and she was like, "Bitch, tell me everything, this is so juicy." I also liked how the characters spoke more Korean. A big criticism I had of season 1 is that every character that Kitty ran into spoke perfect English, even when Kitty wasn't there. Like, 2 Korean characters who live in Korea would just be talking in perfect English to each other. Kitty also had like no issues at all making her way through Korea, which is literally impossible. I've been to Korea before, and even with my mid-Korean skills, I had to heavily rely on my relatives for translation and guidance. So I like that the Korean characters spoke Korean to each other. Obviously, they should have done that in season 1 too. There was also more of an effort from the American characters to learn and speak Korean, even if it was just a few words. Of course, there's still the usual dumb things that just don't make sense. Like, if Yuri's mom resigned from the principal position, how did Kitty get back into KISS? She said that Yuri just called her mom, but how did they get that approved when her mom was resigning? Maybe the decision went to the new principal, but from my memory, he was not the biggest fan of her. And how do you pull strings like that when Kitty literally broke serious rules of conduct and barely passed her classes? And Kitty was involved in a series of scandals that literally made Yuri's mom resign in the first place. Why didn't you check the weather app for the days you're going away on a trip? You're telling me no one checked? No one? And why did you cheat? Just why? Why are you mad that Kitty stopped being near you and stopped responding to your calls when you literally told her to stop being near you and stop responding to your calls? Why are you in everyone's business? Aren't you tired? And why are you here? Lara Jean should have picked John Ambrose because he would have called Kitty out on her bullshit. The show also didn't fix its biggest problem, which is that it's a Koreaboo fantasy. The people behind the show clearly romanticize Korean culture, especially its entertainment media. It's okay to have a fish out of water story, but the show chooses to look at Korea through this idealized and ignorant lens. A clear example is the show ignoring how conservative Korea is, or when they insert popular Korean songs in like every other scene. I unfortunately know quite a few Koreaboos in my personal life, and all of them are obsessed with this show because it literally feeds on their fantasies of going to Korea and finding a minho. But my Korean friends who watch the show literally just do it for the laughs. Like, it's so bad that it's entertaining, and I kind of feel the same way. So yeah, I do think that the writing of season 2 slightly improved because it's a bit more self-aware. But that also frustrates me because the show is just picking and choosing which problems to address and which problems to ignore. And it's pretty clear that the show is ignoring the biggest problem, being a Koreaboo fantasy. It's also ignoring another big problem, which is its characters. And let's start with the main problem of the characters, Kitty. Oh my god, I am so glad that I don't have a Kitty in my life.
We got scared, yes we do!
I love how she literally started the new season by stating that she was going to focus on her classes, stop wasting time, learn Korean, stay out of drama, and be Kitty 2.0. That did not age well. As we saw in season 1, Kitty is a problematic character. Her actions revolve around her desires only. She's impulsive and doesn't think about how she may affect others. She made a huge mess and ruined several relationships. She also got expelled from school, and you would think that she would gain a little more knowledge and wisdom, but she doesn't at all. I'm glad that the show is now aware that Kitty is a horrible person. They acknowledge how messy she is in a few lines here and there, but they don't do anything to change that. She's still making the same mistakes of meddling and not having any self-control. And it's made even worse when Kitty herself acknowledges that she is messy. Like, she's aware of it and she's refusing to change. Girl, get a grip. It's okay to have a flawed protagonist as long as they learn from their mistakes. But she never does. The only good thing that involved her this season was her dedication to reuniting with her family. See, the girl can meddle in that because that's her business. But meddling in the relationships with others? That is not your business. What in the Emily in Paris is going on? I thought we learned from our mistakes, Netflix. I also don't know how she's still in this friend group. Just a quick reminder, she dated Dae for 4 years, got feelings for Yuri, rejected Minho, got feelings for Minho, kissed Yuri, which broke up Yuri and Juliana, and went on dates with Pravina while having feelings for someone else.
Okay.
Are you kidding? That's unfair. She made those. I need to calm down. Everything's fine.
Amanda.
I'm an adult.
I'm also pissed that Kitty still isn't learning Korean. One of the main reasons why she came to Korea was to get in touch with her roots. So, I don't know, logically, shouldn't learning the language be the first step? I'm not expecting her to be fluent. I'm definitely not fluent, but I don't know, you should at least know what naga means.
나가!
I don't understand.
She says get out.
나가요. 얼른 나가. 얼른 나가라니까.
I find this character so frustrating because there was so much potential for her to be a really fun protagonist. I still think back to the To All the Boys movies. At such a young age, she was able to see through everyone's bullshit and call them out. Her matchmaking skills came from that ability. But in EXO Kitty, the writing makes her so selfish and inconsiderate. I know some people have defended her online by saying she's young, she's learning, she's just figuring herself out. I do think that's true. I'm not forgetting that she's like 16 years old. But I also don't think it's okay to use that to excuse her actions, especially if she's not learning from them, and especially if she's aware that she meddles, and it's wrong. When I was in high school, I also had my fair share of crushes, but I wasn't going around ruining relationships over and over again. I do like how Kitty actually feels like a teenager. I'll give her credit for that. She clearly doesn't have all the answers and is constantly trying to figure her shit out. It's also pretty realistic for teenagers to have a lot of crushes. So the intention is there to accurately portray teenagers, but in EXO Kitty, it gets to a point where it feels like it's more about creating drama for the plot instead of actually showing a true teenager's experience. Honestly, the only good thing about this character is that she's played by Anna Cathcart. The girl is a good actor with a lot of charisma and comedic timing. I also just like Anna a lot as a person. I can't believe we're the same age. I have a lot of respect for her for getting her degree and filming the show at the same time. If the show isn't going to fix Kitty for the audience, then do it for Anna because she deserves way better. Guys, I think I finally am losing it because I think I like Minho. I can't believe that just came out of my mouth, but I've gotta give it to him. He's like the best part of the show. Now, that don't mean he's perfect, okay? He's still got a big ego and plenty of other flaws. But I don't know, this season, he actually improved. Minho has always struggled with impulsivity. I'm guessing that comes from growing up rich and spoiled. He's always gotten his way because of his money or fame. But the second he doesn't, he will immediately jump to the nearest conclusion, no matter how crazy it is. Cause yeah, impulsively getting on a plane to tell a girl you're in love with her 30 minutes after she broke up with her long-term boyfriend is kinda insane. Jumping to the nearest girl is also kind of insane. Immediately falling for Stella just because she stood up to your dad is also kind of insane. I'm glad that Kitty was the one who told him to stop being impulsive because she's one of the only people who can actually get through to him. But this season, he learned that he needs to stop being impulsive in order to avoid messing up his relationships with people he cares about. And I like that. We also learn a lot more about his family life this season. I liked his struggles of balancing his personal desires and family responsibilities. But it also made me wonder what his personal desires actually are. Hopefully the show can explore that in season 3 because I don't think Minho even knows himself. He's a playboy. He just flirts, messes around, and also messes up quite a bit. But in season 2, he kinda got his act together. He grew up a bit. He got a layer of backstory and development, so congratulations. Oh my god, saying that out loud made me realize that the bar for the show is in hell. That's literally the bare minimum. I know some people have complained online about the parallels to All the Boys movies because a lot of them involved Minho, which kind of spoiled the whole who will Kitty end up with aspect of the show. I do agree with that, but I do think that is more about personal preference because I know a lot of people that did enjoy that. And also, I don't know, I think majority of us are Team Minho. It's just fan service at this point. I'm also gonna give his relationship with Kitty a pass. It's not great, but I'm not completely against it. They had some real moments of connection while looking for Kitty's family. It didn't feel like the writers just shoved him in that storyline for the drama. He went with Kitty for a purpose, to translate.
I also have been preparing a speech in Korean. Do you want to hear it? 친애하는 가족님들 저는 여기.
Okay, stop.
I can speak Korean. Hana dul setnet asa ahayol gubiel hashmil hana yol dul yosat yelnet yasayol.
Yes, that kind of became useless. There was already someone there who just happened to speak perfect English because of course she did. But listen, the intention was there and I respect it. I was so mad when they didn't kiss at the end of season 2 because the boy was literally eye-fucking her the whole season. But it did get me excited for season 3 because I did really like their banter and dynamic. And on top of all that, I thought Minho was pretty funny. Last season, I found his humor more annoying than humorous, but he's actually growing on me. And I also really liked his look this season. Props to the hair and makeup team. Minho just carried this season, honestly. Like, when I say I watch for the plot, low-key, the plot became him. Oh my god, what is happening to me? Am I dying? Yuri had probably the saddest ending of the whole cast, which is a sharp contrast from the end of season 1. Not only did she lose Juliana, she also lost her money. I don't know why Kitty also can't face the same consequences for her actions, but whatever. Yuri is a pretty manipulative and toxic character, but I am glad that she realized that this season. We'll see in season 3 if she actually learns from that. Also, I don't know if this is just me, but her romantic interests never feel genuine. And I don't know if that's the acting or the character. But either way, Yuri always ends up giving into her self-sabotaging tendencies, so who cares? I don't really know what else to say about her because I was never a fan of her. I was also never a fan of her and Kitty because it just doesn't make any sense and is clearly just a plot device for drama. In my first review, I criticized the actress for her performance. I didn't like it, I'm sorry, but I want to cut her some slack. I saw an episode of P-Sick University where they interviewed Jia Kim and Sang-yeon Lee. I fucking love this show, by the way, and this episode is one of my favorites, but they said something that kind of stood out to me.
You know what? People say that I say 영혼 없이, but really I mean everything I say.
I really got used to it, and so obviously I know it. But if I meet random people and she does that, I'll be like, 아 진짜 영혼 있는 거예요. Like, 그냥 하는 말 아니에요. Like, I always make sure that they understand it's her. Like, yeah.
I still don't like her performance. Sorry, girl, but I do think that this explains it a bit more. I think she naturally has a tone of voice that comes off as sarcastic sometimes, which does affect her line delivery. Maybe I'm looking too much in this, I don't know. Okay, we're gonna speed run the rest of the characters because there are way too many of them, so let's go. In my first review of the show, I said that Kitty's sex dream was the cringiest thing I have ever seen. Well, I'm happy to announce that I am officially changing my statement. Day's performance is the cringiest thing I've ever seen in my life. On a real note though, I do really like this character a lot in both season 1 and season 2. I like that he learned to move on from Kitty and find fulfillment in the things he loves. I love that he found a new girl because he deserves way better than Kitty, and I still love that he loves his family and would do anything for them. Thank God the show didn't change that. I will definitely be seeing him singing 7 by Jungkook in my nightmares, but the point is that he's happy, which makes me happy. I'm sorry, but she has no chemistry with Yuri. I just had to say it. The character also barely serves a purpose in the season. She's just a pawn in the whole drama between her, Yuri, and Kitty. Once that mess is over, she pretty much disappears from the show. She comes back in the final episode to say that she's with Pravina now, and that pretty much sums up her character. Popping in here and there, but not really doing anything significant. And honestly, that kind of sucks because I feel like she was hyped up so much at the end of season 1. It also sucks because I really liked Regan's performance and charisma. She seems really chill as a person and I just wish she got more to work with for a character, but honestly, I am really happy that Juliana is with Pravina and they're both leaving Kitty and Yuri behind. They both deserve better because this friend group is the 10th circle of hell. Why is she here? Last season, they took her obsession with Korean culture way too seriously. They portrayed it in a way that looked like it's okay to be acting this way. But now, the show is aware of the cringe and even poked fun at itself.
As always, your knowledge of Korean culture is very admirable.
제 영광입니다. But seriously, why is she here? She serves no purpose to the story. Now, I'm gonna do something that I didn't do in my first video. I'm gonna give constructive criticism for the friend group. I kind of give up on giving other tips for the show to improve because, let's face it, they're not gonna listen. The show relies on the fantasies of Koreaboos and obsessions with drama to be successful in numbers. It sucks, but I also kind of get it. However, I do think that this is something they will listen to and improve on. So if any of the writers are watching this video, hey, hope you're having a good day. This is nothing personal, but please listen for like 2 minutes. I wish the friendship between this horribly toxic group was more believable. You're telling me that this whole group of friends that date and fight each other are actually friends? That they would voluntarily go on a ski trip together? In the first episode, they literally call each other family, but we barely get to see when they act like it. Show us the moments that they bond as just platonic friends. A good example was Dae and Yuri just going shopping together. That was a really cute scene. It doesn't even need to be scripted. Like, get some B-roll or behind the scenes footage of the cast and put it in. I'm saying this because pretty much all of their conversations are just them complaining or panicking over drama that they created. It's never a waste of screen time to show the moments of actual friendship. For God's sake, they're supposed to be a friend group, so show them being friends. Like, a really jarring example was during the ski trip. It's never clear why Madison is there, but the only logical explanation is that Minho invited her. Obviously, it's his ski house and his trip that he's hosting. But when have we ever seen them talking after their breakup? Never. So why is she here? Yes, I am reading way too much into a teen show, I know, and I'm only half joking, but I'm also half serious. I wish this friend group was more believable so questions like this wouldn't form, and I believe that the show can actually improve on that in the next season. The show looks good. Netflix clearly has a nice budget. The locations, color grading, and costumes are pretty cute. Yes, it low-key is unrealistic, but it's also just cute for a teen show about romance. I still hate the music that they put in this show. I'm not saying that the songs themselves are bad. I actually listen to quite a few of them in my day-to-day life. But I wish the show had a distinctive sound and stuck with it. Cramming every popular K-pop song that came out in the last few years doesn't make a show more Korean. It just makes it kind of cringy at times. Even though I just said a lot, oh my god, my throat hurts, I do have to give the show credit. It's pretty rare for a show to have this many flaws and still be really entertaining. You definitely have to turn off your brain to enjoy it, but there's nothing wrong with a guilty pleasure show that helps you brain rot after a long day. Yes, I cringed so hard that I had to take a lap, but I did have fun watching it. For the most part. EXO Kitty isn't trying to be a groundbreaking piece of teen media. It knows exactly what it is and is okay with it. And that's okay. It can be frustrating at times for the viewer, but it does make a pretty enjoyable experience for some. I do still have my issues with the show, the biggest one being the fantasy element of Korea because I don't want to give the Koreaboo something to thrive on, but I do get it. It's for the views, it's just frustrating at times, and I do wish the show can improve on that. So, to answer the question that some of you may be wondering, is Season 2 better than Season 1? Yes. But by like 2%. That doesn't mean I'm gonna be calling the show good from now on. It's still messy and toxic. In Season 1, Kitty messed up with boys. In Season 2, Kitty messed up with girls. I don't know what's gonna happen in Season 3, but I think that Kitty should just be single and probably let her parents know that her boyfriend is 28. So, am I going to watch Season 3? Yeah. Also, what are you doing here? Please get rid of her in Season 3, please! Thank you so much for watching. Again, these are just my opinions. Please comment yours down below because I'm very interested about the ongoing discussion about this show. Follow me on Instagram and Letterboxd to see what I'm up to and what I'm watching. So, yeah. Subscribe if you want, Have a great day. Bye.